Love is Blind's Shayne slams Natalie in tell-all interview and she hits back hard at disgusting ex. Buckle up, precious readers, because while season 2 of Love is Blind has already ended, the drama is far from over, at least between Shayne Jansen and Natalie Lee right now. The 32-year-old sat down for an interview on Bachelor vet Nick Viall's The Viall Files podcast and did not hold back when discussing his former fiancée. Shayne revealed on the episode that he and the 29-year-old consulting manager had actually tried dating again after filming Wrapped, claiming we reconnected 4 times after the show. We tried 4 times, just recently this past weekend. 4 times? Sounds like it keeps not working. Why? The reality star says he became fed up when she called him a disgusting human being during a recent chat over the weekend, and decided then and there it was completely over between them. I am now, yeah, officially. Yeah, it's over. Actually, for the first time, I can confidently say that. If you'd asked me that a week ago even, I wouldn't be able to answer that question for you. According to Shayne, many of their issues stemmed from Natalie not being sincere when cameras were rolling, claiming she often acted a different way when it was just the two of them. He says the former couple discussed their on-camera conversations beforehand, all at her behest. He's straight up calling her a fake. Eventually, this all boiled over into the off-camera fight before their wedding, which influenced Natalie's decision to end their engagement. Shayne said it all went down on the night of their bachelor and bachelorette parties when the girls ended up crashing the boys' evening, and Natalie became angry with him for drinking too much. This had been weeks of build-up that was seen off-screen. She would always pick little things I did wrong and never appreciate anything I did right for her all of the time. She made sure on camera to show off, but outside the cameras, not even close. Their conversation ended up being so bad, Shayne claimed he told producers he wanted to end things with Natalie the night before. I hit up the producers and whatnot and said, I can't do this. And they were like, we have to see it through. I called off the engagement that night. But I mean, I can't marry you. I'm never going to be enough for you. You honestly make me feel like I'm not a good person, and I'm never going to be enough for you. She makes me feel like a horrible person. While the Netflix personality admitted he told Natalie he hated her at one point during the fight, a comment he feels bad about now. If I could take that back, I would in a heartbeat. I think about it all the time. I think about it every day. I wish I would have used my words better for sure. I wish I would have handled the situation better. Another point of contention between the former couple? His connection with Shayne early in the pods. Shayne slammed Natalie for not confronting Shayne about her attempts to win him back. Claiming the producers cut out that scene, he says now that rather than fight for her man, Natalie chose to literally run away from the situation. They didn't show her when she was supposed to have a conversation with Shayne. They were supposed to have a conversation and she ran away. She literally ran away. 'Cause you know why? Natalie's America's sweetheart. And although he thought his conversation with Shayne on the show went well, Natalie had criticisms for him when they returned home. She wants me to do all of this stuff and I'm doing all this stuff wrong, but then when she does it and it's right in front of her, like, why don't you grow up and why don't you man up with this stuff with her? Call her out on her stuff? Why do I have to do it all? Shayne clarified there's absolutely nothing going on between him and Shayne, who actually got engaged to Christos Lardakis following Love is Blind filming. Me and Shayne hung out once in a group setting, never alone, never hooked up. We kind of bonded on the fact that we were both getting murdered on the show. It was nice to talk to someone who is going through it. She is a good person. We all have things we have to work on. I don't know her that well, but I don't think she deserves what she's getting all the hate for either. He added. There's nothing there. She's engaged, she's happy. I'm happy for her. Yes. Talk about this breakup becoming messy, especially since Natalie decided to respond to his claims. And let's just say, she did not seem too thrilled by her ex's accusations. On Wednesday, Natalie took to her Instagram stories to clear a couple of things that came up in Shayne's interview that might have not been 100% true. She began her open response to fans. "Yes, I know about the podcast and I'm very shocked by what was said." First, she denied that any of their conversations were scripted, saying, "Regarding the comment about me scripting our conversations, I never told Shayne what to say nor did we ever discuss or plan what to say in certain scenes. I did, however, set boundaries with filming. Specifically, I asked him to not drink alcohol before serious scenes and to not share in-depth details of our intimacy out of respect for my family." That does sound fair, and not at all like planning out conversations. Natalie then insisted that she never ran from Shayne, adding that other cast members saw the whole thing go down, too. "I had the conversation with her but it did not air. All the cast members were present for this scene, including Shayne." As for why she was nagging Shayne after? That had nothing to do with jealousy and everything to do with him insulting her. She claims Shayne had with him. As for the disgusting human being comment over the weekend, she admitted, "I told Shayne he was disgusting Sunday night because he called me to tell me he was going to bury me and drag me down with him on the podcast because I ended any chance of reconciliation, in addition to him feeling I didn't speak highly enough of him in the media." Whoa, what? So he actually gave her a heads up he was planning on this tell-all podcast interview? Whoa. According to Natalie, their split came after Shayne sent very flirtatious texts to other women, and not because of his relationship with Shayne on the show. "A major factor in our breakup last year is I found what I considered to be very flirtatious messages between him and other women. He's right, I haven't been able to get over this, and it is the main reason I can't get back together with him. This is something we have discussed numerous times via text these last several months. His hangout with Shayne during the premiere of the show is not the reason." She said Shayne's claim they dated 4 times after their failed wedding was not true, sharing that it only happened twice. "We rekindled the weekend we filmed the reunion episode but decided to keep the door closed. Recently we met up to discuss the possibility of reconciliation but ultimately agreed not to date until he changed some of his behaviors. A few days later, I fully closed the door for any type of reconciliation after discovering some lies he told me." So she's saying she was the one who ended things permanently. Well, these two don't agree on anything about their relationship. Thank goodness they aren't stuck with each other, right? Ultimately, Natalie said she felt saddened and confused by her former beau's dishonesty on the podcast. She finished, "Maybe in a few days I'll have more to say on this, but right now I'm saddened and confused by his dishonesty on the podcast. I didn't think it would get to a point where I'd have to address this publicly, but blatantly lying about me on the podcast for whatever motive is where I draw the line." Check out her entire